Hey, how's it going? My name's Vanya. I do marine search and rescue, and today I'm going to be taking a look at SCP-7200, specifically the Volgun's video of it. I am personally a big fan of the Volgun and SCP in general. Huge shout out to the Volgun. Super cool guy, makes some great content, love it all. But I actually haven't really taken a big look at this one in the past, and someone told me to, so I figured I'd make a video out of it. So yeah, professional boat guy looks at boat SCP. Let's do it. Alright, here we go. I've heard this one's, like, very clever from a legal standpoint. Like, it's like a technical thing.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-7200. Object Class, Keter.
Okay,
Special
Keter.
Containment Procedures. Mobile Task Force Theta 5, bigger boat, is to be dispatched to investigate any disappearances of registered merchant ships and to propose cover stories as appropriate. Any emitted radio signals are to be suppressed using standard procedures.
Ooh.
Update 2022-0704. Project Convenient Flag has been implemented and is demonstrating promising results. Reclassification to Euclid and updates to containment procedures are pending final review by the Containment Committee.
Okay, hold on. First pause. So, first thing that catches my eye, I do know this is definitely going to be a legal thing, because Project Convenient Flag. So what does that mean? So a flag of convenience is basically... Okay, hold on. We got to explain maritime law for a second here. So, a flag of convenience is when you fly a flag on your ship of a country that basically just has really not strict rules, because whatever flag that you fly on a boat, whatever flag that you register under, is basically the laws that apply to your vessel. 9 times out of 10, this is most important in terms of taxes. So, a flag of convenience is when you register with a country that you have no relation to whatsoever, but the rules are pretty good, so it's a good deal for you. So, for example, I think there is only, like... Think about this. There are a lot of cruise ships operating in the U.S., like a lot. If I recall correctly, there is only one cruise ship of all of those that is actually flagged in the U.S. Why? Because the U.S. has really strict rules. Various other countries like Malta. Malta is a really common one. That might come up here. Malta is a very popular flag of convenience country because taxes, rules, they're all pretty chill about it. So that's what a flag of convenience is, and I'm assuming whatever Project Convenient Flag is has something to do with that. But, we'll see.
See Addendum 7200-3. Description. SCP-7200 is an anomalous phenomenon causing the disappearances of non-military ships in international waters.
Sorry, random interjection. I love his voice so much. Continuing.
When a vessel is affected by SCP-7200, it unexpectedly changes heading and increases speed, occasionally dumping cargo to do so. All attempts to hail or remotely operate the vessel have failed.
Sorry, another pause. Sorry, I'm gonna pause a lot because I have a lot to yap about. Okay, so, first thing. All attempts to hail or remotely operate the vessel have failed. So, hailing a vessel, what does that mean? That's just the weird word for getting their attention, trying to communicate with them. So boats use what's called VHF radio. VHF radio is basically the basic walkie-talkies you buy at like Home Depot, but on steroids. And there are numbered channels, and there are it's a licensed system. At least there's a license in most countries. And there's protocols for communication and stuff. And so this allows essentially all boats to communicate with each other. It's a universal, it's proximity chat for boats. It's great. So that's what that would mean. Remotely operating the vessel, personally, I have not heard of systems that allow you to remotely operate a vessel. They might exist, but I've never heard of them personally. That does sound pretty cool, but I don't think it exists. But don't quote me on that. Anyway, continuing.
Typically, shortwave radio transmissions are also found originating from the ship, containing a vocalization described by listeners as an unpleasant shrieking sound.
Children on VHF 16 at 2 in the morning when their drunk parents give them a radio.
Memetic analysis does not find the audio signal to be anomalous, but notes that there may be possible cognitohazardous properties which are not preserved over radio. Several hours into the event, the ship's transponder turns off.
Another pause. Transponder. What do they mean by that? What's a ship's transponder? So, if you've ever used something like Flight Radar 24 for planes, it's one of those things where, you can track the location of all planes, or most planes, wherever they're going. You can see things like their altitude, speed, etc., etc. Boats have the same thing. So for planes, they use something called ADS-B. I don't remember what it stands for, but for boats, we have something called AIS, which is... Oh, I should know this. Automated Information System? Wait, hold on. Automatic Identification System. That's it. Automatic Identification System. And so basically, it does the same thing Flight Radar 24 would do. Closest system to that you can use is called Marine Traffic, and it's basically Flight Radar 24 for boats. Same thing. You can see the location of all boats, etc., etc. And so that's how boats see each other without using, like, an actual radar all the time. Because actual radar is annoying, doesn't give you much info, etc., etc. Okay, continuing.
Past this point, no vessel has been detectable through any known means and is effectively unrecoverable.
It's also important to note here that, in this case, turning off your transponder as a big vessel transiting in international waters, that is illegal because it's dangerous and it's unsafe. You are required to have a transponder above a certain size of ship. I don't know what the exact rules requiring it are, but I do know that there are a lot of them.
In the first year since the anomaly's emergence in April 2016, the likelihood of an SCP-7200 event affecting a vessel was approximately 0.006% per year.
That's pretty
Since
good.
then, the probability has been steadily increasing, measured most recently at 0.072% per year in December 2021.
That's less good.
I'd like to briefly draw your attention to the screen.
Okay, let's have a look.
These are SCP-7200 occurrences during 2016, SCP-7200 occurrences during 2021,
Getting a little more.
and finally, SCP-7200 occurrences projected for
Okay.
2026.
Jesus.
Addendum 7200 1. Containment attempts. Codename
Alright.
Side-Eye.
How do they fix this?
Failure. Summary. Place sensors aboard 20,000 merchant vessels to continually report anomalous activity and attempt to determine the cause of SCP-7200. Result. Sensor data from lost ships is inconclusive. Following the loss of the vessel, sensors cease to report further information. Codename Event Horizon. Failure. Summary. Recruit and train E-Class personnel aboard 100 merchant vessels, with equipment for navigating a number of different anomalous environments. Result. 18 ships with personnel are lost in SCP-7200 events, yielding no new information. Operation is aborted.
That's like the most SCP Foundation shit ever. Just, a bunch of boats are fucking disappearing. Let's throw more bodies at it. Let's throw a bunch of expendable people at it. Just to see what fucking happens. Oh, they all died. Who could have fucking guessed? Oh my god. Wow. Anyway. Yeah.
Codename Escort Mission. Failure. Summary. Ships from the Foundation Navy, disguised as various nations' militaries, escort high-value container ships
That's
with
normal.
orders to intervene during an
Naval escorts
SCP-7200
for
event.
convoys can be a
Result.
thing.
2 incidents occur wherein a container ship is subject to an SCP-7200 event while in the presence of the Foundation Navy. Number 1. The compromised ship suddenly makes a sharp turn in front of the Navy vessel.
Ooh, cutting
The
them
vessel
off.
manages to avoid a collision, but numerous shipping containers fall and land on the Navy vessel, damaging it. The vessel is unable to sustain a chase and the container ship escapes.
Okay, hold on. Fucking full stop. I'm gonna nitpick this shit because you know what? Fuck you. I'm the boat guy. If you are close enough to another vessel for shipping containers to fall onto your vessel from theirs, that is bad. That is, you can basically assume you've collided by that point. Like, you should never get that close. That is sketchy. Jesus. If it, like, falls in the water and then maybe you drive into it, that makes sense. But if they're falling onto, that's effective. That's just a collision at that point. Containers do fall off of container ships a lot. You find them adrift sometimes. But yeah, okay, continuing.
2. 2 Navy vessels are straddling both sides of the container ship, which then undergoes the SCP-7200 event.
Okay, I'm sorry. I've never heard of straddling the sides of a ship. That's one of the most sensual sounding descriptions of a convoy I've ever heard, but okay.
Foundation vessels give chase for 2 hours. The vessels then adopt a strategy of attempting to damage the compromised ship's navigational and propulsion capabilities with limited success. After 11 further
I'm sorry, if 2 warships are unable to stop a merchant vessel, some wild shit must be going on that merchant vessel. Have you seen the fucking money people pour into these fucking things? Holy shit. Okay.
hours of continued pursuit, the ship escapes despite serious hull damage. Codename: Trojan Seahorse. Failure. Summary: 50 unmanned merchant vessels are purchased, loaded with conventional explosives and limited paranormal weaponry, and deployed across the ocean. Ship computers are programmed to detect an SCP-7200 event and attempt to locate and destroy any anomalous objects present. Result: 200 event. It then immediately fires all its weapons directly overhead, causing severe damage and resulting in the ship capsizing. Rescue teams are unable to prevent the vessel from sinking. Remaining vessels are quickly recalled.
Oh boy.
Codename:
Just like, oh yeah, let's have it fucking self-destruct. What did they think was gonna happen?
Sea Nuke. Denied.
Sea Nuke. We're not gonna talk about that one. We're just not gonna talk about that one. Jesus. That's fucking
Vetoed by
crazy.
Overwatch Command.
Oh my god.
Codename: Convenient Flag.
Okay. This must be the good
Ongoing.
one. This sounds interesting.
Summary: see below.
Here we go.
Result: loss of commercial vessels has been steadily declining over the implementation period.
Why are there fish on the screen?
Addendum 7200.
Does fish have something to
Two.
do with it?
Project Convenient Flag.
Let's see.
The Foundation External Affairs and Intelligence Agency, after negotiating with the Panama Maritime Authority,
Panama's a flag of convenience state. That makes sense. Okay, I think I see where this is going. I might. I don't know. Sorry, I don't see where this is going. But I see, like, a pattern.
established a special SCP-F designation for a class of merchant ships registered in Panama. This class is available for containment use only, and have relaxed requirements for vessel size, shape, and build quality.
Okay.
As part of SCP-7200 containment operations,
small vessel?
the Foundation has established 4 facilities in Panama: 1 registration depot, 1 hatchery, 2 farms, with a combined approximate area of 150,000 meters squared.
Oh, wait a fucking minute. I think I get it. I think I see what they're doing. They're registering the fish as fucking ships. Wait, how does that help? How does that help? That doesn't make sense. Sorry. They have a hatchery and a registration depot. That's why they've been showing fish. They're registering fish under the flag of Panama. I don't see how that helps. But what the fuck? Okay.
The fish production facilities are capable of raising tens of millions of oceanic fish annually.
Oh my god.
Within the registration depot, Foundation Maritime inspectors oversee the registration of SCP-F class merchant vessels. Due to the specific nature of this class, many steps in the registration of conventional merchant ships do not apply.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. So, let's talk about UNCLOS. So, UNCLOS is basically big rule thing for nations. I'm not going to get into it, but essentially, UNCLOS says that a flag state has to keep a big list of all the ships registered with its flag. They have to. They're responsible, basically. You know, the ships registered under their flag are their problem, to a degree, kind of. So they have to do, like, safety inspections and, like, certifications and stuff like that. And, of course, they have to keep track of a list. Oh. How do they do that with fish? Hold on. Let me bring up Marpol. Hold on. Because I think Marpol is, for some reason, Marpol is about pollution. However, it also, I know, is where the definition of a ship is legally defined by the IMO. So, if I go, where is it? Hold on. Okay. Marpol, Article 2, Section 4. Ship means a vessel of any type whatsoever operating in the marine environment and includes hydrofoil boats, air cushion vehicles, submersibles, floating craft, and fixed or floating platforms. I guess a fish would count as a submersible. So, yeah, that works. Do they get like registration numbers? Okay, hold on. Let's continue.
Instance, ships have no requirement for safety or construction certificates due to their small size, as SCP.
So it's a small vessel registry, basically. Huh.
Class vessels like.
I wonder if they're registered as like commercial or pleasure. Because like usually for commercial. Actually, are there international rules for commercial small vessel safety inspections? I don't think there are. So most countries, like in Canada, we've got the SVCP, the Small Vessel Certification Program, which if you're operating under like the basic kind of commercial license that lets you take like up to 12 passengers basically on a boat, the SVOP, then you can do SVCP instead of what they call the 60-ton, which is like big commercial boat, or the smallest big commercial boat. Anyway, let's just keep going and see, because I'm speculating and yapping.
Equipment for radio transmissions. Signal suppression is unnecessary during SCP-7200 events. At maturity, fish are transported from farm facilities into the registration depot. In accordance with international maritime law, a Panamanian flag and the respective ship registration number are applied onto each fish.
What?
Upon confirming the vessel's seaworthiness, the acting maritime inspector clears the fish for release into the open ocean.
Oh my god. Holy shit. Okay, wait. They put the flag They give it a registration number, and they do a seaworthiness inspection. I thought this was going to be like some fictional twist on maritime law and not going to be like totally valid, but that actually, I think that meets the rules of UNCLOS. You could do that. Oh my god. Did a sailor write this? Like who wrote this? Who wrote this SCP? That works. That would actually work. You now have like and you only need a national registration number because I think it's 100 tons where you need an IMO number. So the IMO doesn't care. So Panama can just register them as small vessels. And then AIS is like, that's under SOLAS. I don't know how many tons that is, but I'm pretty sure a fish wouldn't need it. There's no... They just waive all the certifications, or almost all the certifications, other than seaworthiness, which is the most important one. Oh my god. That's genius. And so I'm guessing this SCP only goes after registered vessels. So they're just going, let's make like a shit ton of registered vessels that are just fish. Okay.
Addendum 7200, 3. Current situation. SCP-7200 events have continued to increase in frequency. However, due to the implementation of Project Convenient Flag, more than 99.98% of merchant vessels in international waters are SCP-F class, which has reduced the disappearance of civilian ships to less than 0.3 vessels per year.
That's perfect. That is fucking perfect.
Okay. I think that does it today. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. That was peak as hell.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Thank you. Oh my god. Okay.
I would like to give a special thank you.
I'll let this run out. I love this guy. Okay. Now. Okay. So. As he was reading that out, I just had a little thing. So. This depends a lot on what the rules are for this SCP. How it selects its targets. So. It seems to follow maritime law. The question is, what does it consider to be a ship? Does it consider a ship to be a vessel in the IMO registry? Or in like some kind of merchant registries? Or is it just national registries? Because if it's just national registries it has to be in, that could work. I just knocked over my charger. Anyway, if it's just national registries that a ship has to be in for this SCP to consider it to be a vessel, that could work. Now, okay, so here's the other thing. In real life, the IMO really doesn't like when you fuck with the registrations and do something sketchy. Like, if you start trying to do weird loopholes or shit in the legal system, the IMO will come for you and they will fucking kill you. They will strangle you. Yeah. And then, I'm not a marine biologist, but I also assume that just releasing tens of millions of fish all the time into the ocean might have, like, some kind of ecological effect. I don't know. Not a marine biologist. I do boats, not fish. But apparently fish can be boats. Even though the IMO would probably call that one out for fraud, but I'm sure the SCP Foundation could kind of convince them to shut up. Though no one can really convince the IMO to shut up. They are God. They are God in this case. But again, National Registry, they're not registered with the IMO, so that would make it... Okay. Technically, it works. But the SCP could go to court, or could go to the IMO and say, hey, this isn't quite right. I don't like this. However, last I checked, generally SCPs cannot participate in the international/maritime legal system. So, we're probably good in that regard. Also, imagine catching a fish and it's got a fucking flag and a vessel registration number on it. That would be wild. But yeah, you know what? This works. This actually works. Which is insane. But actually, honestly, that is such a creative solution. Props to the dude that wrote this article, or I think it was the two people. Props to whoever wrote this article, this SCP article, or who wrote this SCP. It's not an article. It's writing the SCP. It's a wiki entry. It's not an article. Anyway, really well done. Works with maritime law. It's clever. It's hilarious. I love it. And yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what else I should do, what else I should react to, content I should make, etc., 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 etc. Yeah. Thanks for watching.